There. All right. So, first of all, thank you everybody for attending. I think we're all really excited to see how we can further, what we're doing. And we we do as this group like to open up in prayer. So, Rita, if you don't mind
Yeah.
stepping in and doing that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. I'll do that.
Thank you.
Dear Father in heaven, we're very grateful to meet together to be able to um, rejoice and talk about what we have in our hands as far as this device is concerned. And we're grateful that we have opportunity to be able to have businesses of our own. And we pray, Father, that thou will guide and lead our discussion, that we be able to be inspired as to that we talk about and discuss tonight, that we would be able to be guided into coming up with some ideas and brainstorming ways to be able to reach out to others who are needing this technology. We're grateful for Jesus for all that we have as a result of thy care and oversight. And we say these things humbly in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right. Well, this group, we call it a business group, but we'd really like to make it a place that we can connect, that we can brainstorm, that we can support each other when we're having problems, that we can just make it a really great platform because so many of us are kind of stuck with how we want to move forward, how we want to present, how do we want to explain the scanner, what can we go out there and do to make this a greater contribution for us and our clients. And so Rita and I were talking before the meeting, and she actually had some beautiful ideas. So I'm going to have her open with those.
Okay. Well, we always, I know a lot of you personally, and so I know that you have a strong desire to be able to help others and support others on their health journey. And I think that's one of the main reasons that we get into this as a business, is to be able to support others with their health and ourselves, as well as those that we love and our families. And so the big thing is, though, when we talk about getting business of our own, like, what is our why? And once we really target in as to why we're doing what we're doing, it really becomes, it's not just for the monetary value or selling a product. It becomes, I help others by showing them what what the missing links are, what the dots are, to be able to connect and get better health, and so it goes deeper than just us wanting to make an income, right? And so I think that's the basis of how we're going to be successful, is to be able to come up with that passion and why we're here.
Thank you, Rita. And I think for those that don't know, Rita is actually our upline. I'm under Rita, and then Mom came in, and Wanda and Linda and Christy. I know that I know, Kim, you're not directly part of us, but we love you and you're part of us.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Christy, who are you? You're under with Laura, correct? Right. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is go around, have each one of you introduce yourselves, how long you've been here, since we don't have but 7 of us, and what is your why? What is your passion? So my mom is Mary. So Mom, let's start with you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm Mary Roy. I'm Lisa's mom. Um, we got started in this almost 2 years ago now. And of course, Rita brought us into it. The reason I think all of us, and I know for me, is it gives us a tool that is not allopathic medicine. It is not diagnostic, but it lets us put some dots together and help our families as well as those that we know and don't know and those that we love. And I have found it so valuable during this COVID period of just the different ones that by putting their body in homeostasis got through this COVID. I know one friend in particular, I'm not real sure she would have made it. And I just thank God that He put this in our lives, in our hands. And I do believe it has been brought to us because of the type of person Lauren is and how strong his faith is, that we can tie this together and thank God for what He's placed in our hands. That is completely, it's so valuable because there's so much going on in our medical system and it's breaking down so much that this may be our medicine. And we are so far ahead, the ones that are involved in this. So just the desire to share it, get people to use it and understand it, and know what a valuable tool that we have that we can use every single day. And they have the chance too, because you do not have to be medically inclined or anything to do this. If we can just get them to understand how simple it is, just push some buttons, keep looking for the repetitions, and how they can just help themselves
Thank you.
and the rest of their family.
Thank you. Absolutely. Wanda, would you like to share your why? You'll have to unmute yourself.
Oh, I am unmuted, aren't I?
You just
Now
did.
you are.
Okay. I'm Wanda Hartsock. I became friends with Mary many years ago. I'm a snowbird and met her at church and have kind of followed along, trying to learn something. I'm not good on the computer, and it seems to me like you need a little knowledge like that to I don't know, or I'm learning. I have a lot to learn, but I've had my scanner about, I think I got mine shortly after you and Lisa married, didn't I? I've found it, it's quite remarkable. And no one I've talked, when I lived back in Missouri in the summer, and I couldn't interest anyone when I went back there. My medical doctor's a DO, and she wasn't interested. I have an energy medicine lady I work with. She wasn't interested, and my chiropractor wasn't either. I'm still learning, and I'm not giving up. So
Thank you, Wanda. And Linda, if you'll unmute yourself and you and Russ.
I'm Linda. And
I'm Russell.
Russell. And well, see, I've had two Christmases, so I've had it over a year. And I'm one of those. Mary did a post, and I said, "Okay, what do you got?" And I made her tell me, and that's how I found the scanner from her. And I've always had medical issues, and Russ had a brain stroke 2 years ago, so I said, well, I don't know what it is, but I want to try it. And the more I've I listened to a lot of documentaries and stuff, the more everything's energy that Mary's right. Who cares what happens with the doctors and the hospitals, because we can heal each other with with energies. So I don't have a why yet, because I strictly was like, this is for us, because we need to take care of us and heal us. And then I started, I mean, call it guilt, that wow, why am I not sharing it? Because I don't have the confidence of not knowing how to explain it, or you know, they always, as soon as they see something, and well, what is that? I don't even bother to worry about sharing it. And it's just too good to not be sharing. It's almost like you're punishing somebody because they can find hope. Now I do share with family, and sometimes, I just tell them I'm doing it because they don't understand and want to understand. But mom's never right. So
Thank you.
that's us.
All right, thank you. Kim.
My name is Kim Calkins. I've had my scanner for about 2 years now. I went down the health rabbit hole because myself and my family got very sick, and it was from mold. Didn't know anything about mold and toxins. So I'm really awake and aware and understand. I believe the scanner is the future. I think the hospitals are probably going away. Maybe we need, trauma care and baby delivery stuff, but beyond that, we can take control of our health and help others. So my initial, when I got it, was to help heal my family, help heal myself. I understood the role of parasites and how that plays, and toxins and emotions. We have a lot of trauma. But as I started healing, as I started balancing, I'm like, okay, I got to help others. So I've been helping my friends. I haven't ruled out creating a business because I know there's so many different directions you can take this, so many ways you can help people. I could go on with, like, you could scan a group of people on Mondays and call it, manic Mondays, and send them stress-free frequencies. There's so many ways to help people, so many ways to do it. So that's my why.
Thank you, Kim. And Christy, what would be your why?
The why is because when I heard Laura talk about it, and she wasn't really talking about the scanner, she was talking about this general way of being, I think, with health, and it had nothing, we weren't in context at all with this, and it was like a little dog whistle, and I perked up and I went, what? That she's talking about stuff that that I'm immersed in. And I have spent a couple years studying functional nutrition, have a certification now. I worked in foods and nutrition, not clinically, for about 35 years, and wanted to do more clinical work. I have a long history of lots of things going wrong with me for many years, and it just like trying to stay even with stuff, but it's always a mystery, and always like talking to somebody who's like negating my experience, and talking to somebody else who, I figured out for a doctor, I might actually see that person 3 hours a year. It's like, how can somebody take care of me if they've only seen me for that short of a time? And so I've depended on myself and my self-knowledge, and I have spent a lot of time trying to translate over the years science, meaning like food science or understanding nutrition, in a way that is understandable, not only to me, because I don't have all the words all the time, but I have to like be able to say it in a way that's I get nods of the head. And I see what's out there with all those, the big powers that be, and yet I want to bring it back home. I want to, I have that experience of being taking care of myself and seeing how things have changed in my body. But what I've learned with I think somewhere along the line, I kind of missed the whole emotions and feelings link. And so now I'm learning about that. And that, I don't know whether I was in denial or I just didn't want to, I didn't want to learn it, but here it is. It's in front of me right now. It's really making an impact in how I take care of myself, and in turn take care of other people. I am starting a business. I do want to see people clinically, clinically. I'm not going to have an office. It's going to be more low key. I'm 72 years old. I'm not going to start anything big that's going to go on forever, but it's something that, I just, I heard Lauren say a couple weeks ago, just get out there, just like, talk to as many people. And that really struck me. I really was inspired by those words that, yeah, I should just like, and then I think it was yesterday in the AO scan, and I can't remember those people, the people who
Mhm.
we listen to. Uh, anyway, I heard one of them say, just ask 3 people, tell it to 3 people a week about it. And that's doable for me. And I've already done that this week, talking to 3 people. And and selling it is not top of my mind. Helping people with their health seems to be top of my mind. But I'm a business person too. I need to know the chops about working within this system. I've never worked within a direct sales system. So I don't even know how to make money. I know how to like charge people to do a scan, but I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I think that's a lot of whys.
Yeah, thank you very much. And Rita, you're muted. There you go.
I'm unmuted. Okay. Well, I got so excited. I was about to buy another frequency device. And I was about to, the same day I was going to purchase it, I saw that one of my Facebook groups had a frequency medicine, like a workshop or a class. And so I decided, oh, I would watch that. And after that, after seeing this naturopath go through and talk about the AO scan and what it does and um, how she's using it in her practice, I was sold. And I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is going to be thousands of dollars. and and then when she got through the whole presentation and I heard the price, and here I'm bringing it up monetary, but it was like, oh, I can do that. It's like, and so it was even less than what I was going to spend that day on the other device. And I value it being used for myself and my family. We've used it in so many different regards, but then I have a desire to open up a business to support others and help them to be able to see progress in their health. And so that's my desire.
Thank you, Rita. And mine, I think it's very similar. We've been in, Mom and I, and you, Rita, as well, have been involved in this energy medicine world for a long time. Mom and I had have still a device QXCI Skio, but it's expensive and it's not portable. Um, you can't really share it with the masses. It's definitely a one person at a time commitment. And I think that's the beauty of this. And those of you that have been in this a while, when it first rolled out, it was even more expensive than what it is now. I mean, the scanner itself had brought it down to a reasonable, incredibly reasonable price. And then, just to be able to have a tool that we can help anybody anywhere in the world. And if they desire, they can bring it into their hands and their homes. And that's really my desire, is for people to have that hunger to bring it into their own families so that they can uh, really educate themselves and their families, and use simple tools to just balance their home and their frequency. And there's so many creative things we can do. And on the line of hospitals possibly closing, etc., that's the same thing with the homeopathics. I heard not too long ago that they're trying to take the homeopathics away from, not from Solex, but out of the stores, and where we can purchase it. So my gosh, how remarkable to have a tool that we can make our own homeopathics. They're not going to take that from us. It doesn't matter what closes down, what folds around us. We have this amazing tool that can really help us in this healthcare system. So the question would be, how do we do that? How do we introduce it? That's one of the things they were talking about on the call last night. I just started listening to it a little while ago, is, how you introduce it to somebody. But I know I wrote down some notes of something I heard, and I think Rita, you had as well.
Mhm.
So Rita, how would you introduce the scanner?
Well, I heard somebody, I used to try to introduce it by saying everything. It was almost like this, just the whole spiel just dumped into this 10-minute monologue. And people were, with their eyes would glaze over because it was almost overwhelming, or they just weren't really interested and didn't really even know what I was talking about. So I'm now starting to just introduce it as being a frequency generating device. And I know that doesn't tell everything about it, but that's what will catch their interest, is because I would always talk about the CEPIs at the end of my dialogue. It was like, sometimes they were past understanding because, what, yes. And so I'm starting to introduce it as a frequency generator, so that it, and I had heard a little bit more of a definition. Let's see, I shared this with, let's see if I can find it now. It's in my notes on my phone, and I tried to email it to myself. So here we go. So the AO scan is a biofeedback device that can generate frequencies. It's one of the best parts of the handheld device. They're sent through the quantum field from any distance to anyone, anywhere in the world. Yeah, and I love that. It can't be more true.
Absolutely.
And so,
yeah, well, thank you. Well, the definition that I just recently heard was, I don't know how many of you know who Jessica Zavalia is, but she started doing some interviews with different people, and one of them was Alice Geranihan, who's the one that just created the homeopathic course for us. But Jessica, in that interview, and I did put that on our Facebook group for those of you that aren't in it. Christy, you may not be. It's for such a time as this. And so I did place this whole interview on there. But one of the things Jessica said is that it's a tool to help you put your health back into your own hands. It's a handheld wellness center. Tap of a button, you can be in charge of your life and your health. With the database like homeopathy, you can understand yourself better. You can be better educated. You can become the expert. Be informed. You have the power in your own hands. And I loved that. I felt like that nailed it to explain it as a wellness center in your own hands. That's pretty cool. So I loved that definition. Does anybody else, would you like to share how you present it?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Go ahead.
With friends, I just tell them that it's kind of like doing blood work and doing a CT scan. And then there's the emotional component that it knows what's going on, even if you don't want to admit it. And it will help push you to balance. But not everything, it can't do it all for you. Some things are diet changes, which we all know, whether we want to hear it or not. But it will help connect some of the dots so we can see what you should be doing.
Great.
And maybe what foods are causing issues for you, like nightshades. So that's what I say.
Thank you. I think that's great. Anybody else? All right. Well, one of the things I think that we would all like to move towards are some creative ideas of how we can bring this out to the masses greater. What kind of things can we do for people? What can we create? What's easy to do? And There's truly so many. I know one of the things I started doing was doing a package of 12 inner voices. I charge for that. You know, the client can actually just send me a recording if they're not really good on a cell phone. They can leave a phone call with I usually ask them to leave a 15-second recording just in case something falters. Or they can send it in a text message, or they can send it, you know, on Messenger as a recording. And I run their inner voice for them. And I do track it on a little Excel sheet on my cell phone. So, you know, that's been one of the things that I've started doing that's really helpful for people. I think when that happens, the question is, you have to know the personality. Like, do you just send the inner voice scan that's only at the emotions and the tones? Or do you send the one that scans against the vitals and gives them all the information? You know, and that definitely is a call with how you feel that person would handle it. Because I have one lady that would freak out, you know, if she saw some of the things on there. So now she's back in town, and I'm now working with the rest of it so that we can start tracking patterns and, you know, going further into that. So, you know, that's one of the things I've been doing that's so easy, and you can work with anybody doing that. And, you know, but then
Yeah,
that
I think,
you think
sorry.
what? No, go ahead.
I think doing scans for people is so time consuming.
It is.
Because of what comes up and the amount of stuff that comes up and the explanations. I think doing the inner voice is great, or even imprinting pellets for frequencies, you know, stress free or whatever, free happy things, whatever it is. Those are simple things you can do.
They are. And, you know, on that note, I was just talking to a friend of mine that just joined us. She wasn't able to hop on this today. She's got her degree in quantum medicine, and we're trying to brainstorm on some of the things we can do. And one of the things that kind of popped into my mind as I was talking to her is if they have pellets, if they have, you know, their bracelets, their selfie stick, you know, and they don't live near us. Oh my gosh, why can't we open up a Zoom, run the scan, you know, via our cell phone or our computer? And they almost would have to do the Zoom on their cell phone, because we could have them lay that, whatever it is, right on their device. We could clear it for them, and we could run frequencies back into whatever that is for them. So we can actually, Linda looks puzzled. So, so what you would just be doing a remote meeting basically, but through Zoom. And if I wanted to re-imprint Susie Q's bracelet, I would say, okay, Susie Q, let's open up a Zoom, you know, from your Zoom, because those frequencies are reaching her no matter where she's at. So, you know, I'd say let's lay your bracelet on your phone, and you're going to be, see, like I can show, we're on a Zoom right now, so I can share. Let me find the, technically, if I can find the share button. Oh, here it is, share screen. So I can actually go to, well, you know, sorry guys, technical difficulties. I've got my scanner up here, but it's not showing. Okay, so let me do a share screen on that, see if it'll come up. Oh, show all windows. I've just got to pull down to get it right here. So I would just share my screen. I would go ahead, let's say to my Steffi. She would be seeing this on her end as well. I would erase whatever I'm going to erase. And I'm not sure why it's not coming up and showing, but it's not. And then I could go to whatever I wanted. Do I want to put chakras into her bracelet? Do I have a custom playlist that I want to imprint
So
into her?
are you doing this on your computer? Because I've only scanned with
am.
the handheld.
I am.
How do you run it on the computer.
You just
I something on my
download,
phone.
you just would download app.aoscan.com and it'll come up on your computer as well. And so there's a lot we could do. And if you also, if you're just doing it from your handheld, I'm going to stop sharing that for a minute. You can bring up Zoom meeting on your scanner as well and run it through that. You know, so it would take a little bit of playing to become proficient in that. But we have the power to imprint anything that we want. You know, we just say, show your water stick. Let's erase it and print it. Your bracelet, you know, if you have jewelry you want imprinted, it wouldn't really matter. So, you know, that would be another fun thing that we can do so easily and inexpensively for people that could really assist them if they want their pellets. Let's say we did the easy scan and it came up with their homeopathics, you know, and they have pellets. Well, we could erase them. They can imprint their own once we send it to them, you know, but if they want it cleared or erased, we could erase it from that meeting and then they could imprint it themselves. Does that make sense?
It does, but I'm not getting how you're going to erase it. How are you holding up it and then she's holding it up?
No, she
How
would.
am I the only one
They
that's
would
confused?
almost have to be on a cell phone so they could lay it flat. The Zoom meeting would almost have to be through their cell phone.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you would show the screen. You know, some people have Air books or whatever that it lays flat, but obviously a lot of us don't. So I would ask them to enter the meeting from a device that they could lay down, or they
Okay.
could
Makes sense.
lay the item on it and then erase it, and you could imprint it from there. Or if they have the email with their homeopathics, they could imprint it. So, you know, the question with all of these different things is, you know, what do we charge? I think we're all stumped with how much do we charge for what we're doing. So I'd like to visit those of you that are charging. You know, what do you charge? What would you suggest? Is anybody charging yet for their sessions? No? Rita?
I have been, oh,
Go
go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I'm in the kitchen cooking.
You're fine, Christy.
Don't
Go
want to
ahead.
be. Anyway, so I decided I was going to do 3 free, and then they could for $100. And you know, this sounds low to me, actually.
And when you say three, what
3
programs
scans.
but what scans are you running?
Any of them. Like it could be one or any of them,
Oh,
including like the follow-up too over in the Cephei.
okay.
It does include a lot more time, and I know that it's like really low, but is it sort of like getting me up to ramping me up to some sort of being more professional around it, seeing what people like. I was with a friend this week, and she said, "Well, how much is it going to be?" And I said, $50, and that's my other price. For a one-off, it would be $50. And she looked at me with big eyes, and I should have had the nerve to ask her, is that high or low? You know? But, you know, I know how much time goes into all of this, and you know, so I'm going to play this out for 3 to 6 months and see what happens.
Fun.
And then if I can get any traction any other way, I'll probably just start something else. Something, I don't know what the other thing is. I have to live it to really see it and then maybe make a change.
Yeah, that's good. So just to clarify, when you say any 3 scans, you'd be like an inner voice, a vitals,
Yes.
comprehensive.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Yeah, and what I was doing, I started out for only $50 on doing the 12 inner voices. I am gonna bump that up. And then I went to 60, and I think I ultimately probably will go to 75, because you're invariably spending time with them somewhere along the line explaining it. So, or maybe the first one you do, the first dozen, you charge a little more so that, you know, you can spend that time talking to them about what you're seeing
Well,
and
yeah,
how,
yeah.
you know,
When you
and
say
then
50, can I just clarify 50 for 12?
for
What does that
12,
mean?
that's what I started with, 12 inner voices, where they just,
Shh.
it's so
Wait,
quick for them to,
$50 for all 12?
well, it takes a minute, you know? I mean, so I do more. That's what I started out doing, you know, now I'm
Yeah.
60, I'm going to go up to 75, but it literally takes 1 minute to do somebody's inner voice and send it to them. So I think after they're familiar with it, so maybe the first dozen we do for, you know, more, 100, 125, because we're going to have to take that time with them explaining it. And then we do the next set less expensive or something. I don't really know. See, these are the parts I get stuck with as well.
But can I just ask another question
Uh-huh.
along this line? So what I'm hearing you say is that so you have more skills than I have as far as like doing this from afar.
Okay.
And I haven't done any of that. And I can see where the time would be, I mean, I have to set up a time, go to their house, they come here, you know, it's a whole deal. And it's certainly 35 doesn't dollars doesn't equal, you know, other professionals in this kind of industry. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can think of anyone else, and they make more than $35 an hour.
Right. Right. No, that's
So yeah, I'd like to economize or make efficiencies. Do it your way, but I need to get up to speed with that, and I don't know quite where to look or find that information.
yeah, and that's part of what we want to, I think, do here is train a little bit on how we do that and how we can step into that. But, you know, you would have their profile set up. And then literally you would say, can you please send me, I always say a 15-second recording and start with I am. Now they can do it so many ways. Christy, I don't know how many of you can see my phone or not, but when you do a text, I'm just going to say I'll do it to my mom. Mom, you may get a recording from me. So there's a microphone button. I think there's a glare on this, and I have an iPhone, so it's going to be different depending on your phone. But do you see there the microphone button? You literally can hold that down. Oh no, yeah, and it should. Oh, that's the dictation. You guys, I'm telling you wrong. Shame on me. When you go to the text, it's going to. All right, now it's not even showing it.
But you're right, Lisa. Inside the text line, there generally is a microphone. And so you press the microphone
Yeah, and
and
it's not
just
there for
start
some
speaking.
reason.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
and
you.
there's kind of a problem with that too, because iPhones and Androids are not compatible with
Correct.
sending that little voice message thing on your phone. You know, like if you want to talk
Correct.
text and send it, they're not compatible.
So
So
this is, yeah, this is Messenger. So that's the other way. I'm on my Messenger. And there's actually a microphone button right beside the text box on Messenger that you can send a voice recording. You know, that's the second way. And I'm sure there's so many others. And then, or say, hey, just let me know when you're going to call me. Leave me a voicemail that's 15 seconds long. And you can do that from their voicemail. You know, so there's
I've done that.
The Android has a microphone right beside it too.
Mhm.
It's not a
Okay.
microphone, but it's some lines up and down.
Okay.
and it's not compatible. If you have a Droid and someone has an iPhone, they can't send it to you.
Oh,
It
maybe
won't
that's why it
send.
wouldn't come up with mom, because mom has an Android and I have an
Right.
iPhone.
So if
Oh.
your customer has a different type of phone than you, it's
Okay.
probably better just to have everybody, unless it's someone you know, just
Right.
leave you a voice message on your phone.
Or on the
Or
messenger.
do a video, aim it at a wall and do a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because they're
And-
not compatible. It's very annoying. It took me a while to figure that
Yeah,
out.
like this.
That's why
I'm gonna see if they
I was
still
like, why
record.
isn't it coming?
Hello, hello.
Hey, Lisa, we had a question. Do you set up at how often you'll do those 12 or
Well, I suggest that they send me 3 a week. But honestly, I leave it up to them. You know, I do have them prepay. It's on them. If they
Oh,
send
okay.
it to me, great. What I do, I don't like
So then for
void
the
it.
month, they basically get 3 a week for the 3.
Right. But
So
if
for
they,
the month,
if they,
for
but if
yeah,
they
and
don't,
I know it's hard with pricing because prices have gone up on everything, and people unfortunately don't see the value of spending it on their health. And I think my problem is I don't know how to educate them that this is like replacing something else,
Right.
health wise,
And-
that their frequencies are just as, their emotions are just as important as taking, their prescription or a pill. But that's, society's used to getting that item and for that dollar amount. But that seems reasonable to me because, like you said, once you have them set up, it's pretty fast.
Right. And what I do, can't see this again, is I do keep a spreadsheet on my phone. I'll try to post it somewhere in what I do, but I put like the client's name, paid, like this one has her name, says paid 100 through 7/13/22. And then I put number 1, was 7/13, number 2, 7/18, number 3, 7/20. These were the dates that she did it. So that way I'm tracking how many she's done for what she's paid me. And honestly, I don't care if it takes her, the month or 2 months. It really doesn't affect me because I don't sit around waiting for that recording. If I haven't heard from them, I do circle back around and I'm like, hey, is everything okay? Just waiting for the inner voice. So I don't completely dump them if they don't send it, but I don't remind them. They pay it and they get me the recording when they get me the recording. I ask them to think about setting up a schedule like Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or Saturdays, just to give them some ease. But I don't make it hard. It's so easy. It's such an easy thing to do, and it's inexpensive. It's reasonable, and I think we could almost do the same thing with imprinting. Like we could do a package of clearing and imprinting for a certain dollar amount. There again, what do we charge? That's
I
always
have a
the
friend that
question.
does it by tip. She just tells them tip me, and she feels that she gets paid fairly, and it's not the same with everyone what she gets, but she feels like she gets paid pretty fairly.
And I know people that are uncomfortable with that because they're like, oh gosh, am I not paying enough? Am I paying too much?
Oh yeah, I'm like, I have no idea what to pay.
Yeah, so that would be, their preference. But I think that on one hand, I think that's a good idea. On the other hand, I think that could leave some, like, I'd be like, I have no idea what to pay you. I mean, what's fair and
That's where
reasonable?
I was. Yeah. But she's doing well with it. But I was like, I have no idea what I would pay you. I'd be stumped. $5 to 50. I mean,
There's a
Right.
community acupuncture place near me that has a sliding scale with suggestions. And but you can pay anything. That's the basis of their business is you can pay anything.
Oh,
And yet there's a suggestion there and you can follow it or not.
okay. That's
Wow.
good too.
I like that. I could grab that what they have.
That'd be great.
That'd be
worded.
interesting. Yeah.
That would be really great. Yeah, so that is definitely a way it could be done. So my other question
It really
is,
depends, I think, on how much time you're spending with the
Mhm.
client.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I have, someone was asking how much I charge a potential client, and I said 75.
That's
But
what I
that
meant.
was for a series of scans and then following through with connecting the dots with them and sitting down and going through some of it with them, because that does take time. And then being able to do the sending them frequencies or imprinting something for them.
See, I
Yeah.
almost think that goes back to maybe that first scan should be more costly.
Well, that's what
because
I'm thinking because, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, because you are
Because
spending
then you can always give a special rate, like
Mhm.
if you put a price on it, then you could say, well, I'm offering a 40% discount right now, or, something like that, if you decide to do that.
Well, and
But
it's not unusual to spend, 2 hours the first time
right.
with somebody at all. So I'm thinking, like for myself, am I looking at $125 for the first scan? That would include all the scans that I choose to do that day. And it would be, going through those reports and educating them on it. So, and then, the follow-ups do $75. The other thing I have been telling people, and I haven't charged 125, but the other thing I've been saying is if you want me to track your scans, because they send those Excel reports. So if you want me to do the tracking, some people are proficient in that and some aren't, then I'm going to probably charge another 125 to do that tracking for them for 3 reports. So,
Okay, I haven't, can I, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I have 2 things. I would like to circle back because we're into pricing, but I don't even know how to introduce people to the scanner. And you both had good things that you said. Lisa, you said yours was from a recording. I tried to write it as you're
Yeah,
talking.
it's in our For Such a Time as This AO.
Yeah,
Facebook.
but who was it from?
It's an interview that Jessica Zavalios, I don't know how to spell her name. Does anybody know how to spell her name? With Alice or Ronnie, I don't know how to say her name either. The one that has created the homeopathic
Oh,
course.
okay. I listened to that, but okay, and that's the only one I saw in there, and that's why I was like trying to find something.
So it's
I'm making it
more in the
harder on
2/3.
myself.
It's more in the last 2/3 part of that recording that
Now I'm just
Jessica.
making it harder on myself trying to find the post.
When do you think it was recorded?
Yes. Are you on our For Such a Time as This, Christy?
No,
Facebook page. It's a
no,
private one.
I'm eager.
Yeah. So I think that we could probably get Laura, or I'll find you and friend you, and then I can bring you in. But Laura could. And are you friends with her on Facebook, Rita? Can't hear you.
I had sent you a couple of, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my granddaughter another movie. I had sent you a friend request a couple of times, Christy.
Oh.
No, that's the one I wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold it. This one. Okay. I'm going to go on mute for a minute.
Okay. All right.
My
Yeah.
other question too was you guys have said a couple times connecting the dots. What do you guys mean when you say that?
Yeah, and that was actually in one of our other, how we've been having the monthly meetings at my home, and I have recorded those.
Okay.
No, you're good. Not everybody
Okay.
can attend, but that's on my page for YouTube, which I only have like 5 people in there. I don't have a following, and I may have made them private, so I couldn't tell you specifically which ones, but we can do another class on that at some time. But it's where you look at like the inner voice and, are you seeing like hydration and trace minerals and this and that? What emotions are showing over and over? And, you know, so you pull that up. And if you guys haven't been doing the body system scan, do it, because it has the same kind of emotions and suggestions and things like that. So what am I seeing from my inner voice to my comprehensive to my body system scans? And I've done all the training to open up the other databases, so I have a little bit more information. You know, am I seeing patterns of candida? You know, sometimes it'll say like candida, and you can go to those other reports and you can look for those patterns. So, you know, what are we seeing in the immediate session that we just did? And then, you know, or it'll say hydrochloric acid increase, you know, probiotics, all of those things. Those are the kinds of patterns we're looking for. How many of those reports are we seeing the same things over and over and over? And then, you know, are we seeing fungus and candida? And then, you know, when we open up their vitals, you know, are things popping up there that are red that are reflecting in the inner voice and reflecting on the body systems and
Okay. And you have a YouTube then? Is it just your
I
name or?
do. You're going to ask me what it is, huh? Hold on, I'll find it. I mean, I've never promoted us, so I'm like, I do, but I've never promoted
Well,
myself.
poor Mary, she spends hours with me, and it's like if I should be able to just look it up myself.
No, you're good. It says, oh, it's funny. I didn't know it said and co. Oh, my channel.
It's just
Hold
like
on.
the
It is. Yeah, it is just under Lisa Roy Bowers at A New Creation and Co. It says. Oh, I have 7 subscribers. No, I didn't even know. I never look at it.
What are you saying? Inco?
And Co. It said, I didn't put that part on there. It says
Oh,
Lisa Roy Bowers at A New Creation and Co.
okay.
And ANDCO.
ANDCO. I didn't even know that. But there we go.
And
I'll,
Lisa, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to start asking.
Yeah, I was just going to say if any
You
of
had
them are
something to
showing.
add.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah, let me finish this real quick though.
I mean,
If any
yeah.
of them are showing as private, I will change that, the ones that are pertinent, so you can look at them. Yeah. Okay, now Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah, so how do you bring them up? I mean, it seems to me in the way beginning, and I got my scanner in like August, and you know, I was like clicking around, didn't know what was happening. And, there were somehow I did get an Excel spreadsheet one time or another. I have no idea how I did it. And now I want it because I saw you using it the other day, and I went, I really want that. And
Yeah.
I
They're
don't know
on,
how to.
yeah, they're on all the email attachments that you send. And if you are working with people and sending their reports, don't neglect to send them to yourself as well. I always send the report.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, some people are
Sorry.
not. What, Mom?
Oh, it was me. There's a video that'll show you how to do it. It's pretty short.
Sure. And who has the video? Is it on YouTube?
I have it saved. I can send it to Lisa. So
Or why don't you-
anytime I want to track, I have to go back to the video because I'm not a techie, but I can follow along and do it.
Kim, would you
Cool.
mind putting that in our For Such a Time as This
I can
page?
do that.
That would be a really
That'd be
great
good.
place. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
You're welcome.
welcome. Yeah, that's awesome. Rita.
Well, so am I answering a question?
I don't know. You just looked like you had something to say.
Oh, I was gonna, yeah. I think I thought Christy was asking the other day about doing that, tracking a client or tracking your patterns. And so about the Excel sheets. And so that's where I think you guys have already covered that. So that's all great.
Yeah. Good. Good. Yeah, that's such a powerful tool. I am an Excel geek, but I haven't used like VLOOKUPs in years. And so one of the things I was trying to figure out and finally kind of dumped it was like, how do I track patterns? Because we get the Excel spreadsheet for everything, even the new database. I can email that out. And I was like, okay, is there a way to do VLOOKUPs in all these pages and highlight everything against all these reports, that is showing patterns? The problem is that I found is some of the words have parentheses around them, which I do know how to do a text data tab and take those out, but now we're talking a ton of time. But like the Candida might have, Candida albicans or Candida, different kinds. So it makes it a little hard with a VLOOKUP because you're looking for exact matching exact, for it to highlight. But I may figure that out one day, girls. If anybody's
What,
proficient, let me know.
what's VLOOKUP?
Oh my gosh, it's just a wonderful Excel tool but you can compare. It's searching for like words or like numbers or like names. So it's looking for like, and then you can set it up where it'll highlight things as well in color when it finds them. So I'll let you know. I'm playing around with it. But that's kind of my next challenge. I spent a long time and I finally just dumped it because I kind of feel like the company, they keep saying they're going to roll out all this new stuff at Day of Discovery. There's part of me that feels like they're going to be rolling something out. And I don't know, this is just my gut, that helps us track things better, but I don't know. So then I was like, am I really going to spend all that time right now trying to figure this out when the company is going to unveil it in a couple of weeks? And they may not be, but
No,
that's
but
me.
I think that too, the couple comments they've made,
Mhm.
yeah. And then does anybody share the alpha passes?
Mm-hmm. My
And how
newest
do you
client I got with the Alpha Pass. So
What was the question?
the alpha passes? I've
Are
didn't
you
know I had
familiar?
a whole bunch of them.
mhm.
I have them, but I haven't distributed them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't even know I had them, and then I'm like, I have 18 of them, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with them?
Yeah, didn't I send you that YouTube on
Yeah,
that?
yeah, you did, but I mean, I think you did. But I still don't
Yeah.
know how to approach people. I'm
Oh,
still at that timid space, I think,
oh,
maybe.
I
How
understand.
do you say, if you'd like to try this, I have this 3 days you can try it.
Well,
Or
I
do you do a
know.
scan and say, hey, now I'll give you a free one, and then you might want to play with it and try a few times
Yeah, see,
on
one
your
of
own and
my
then share it. Or I'm just asking because I didn't, I just buy stuff and don't use, and have a whole bunch
yeah.
of
So they did
them.
cover that in the role playing part of last night's recording. So Alexis, I I wouldn't probably personally approach it the way they did it because they approached this role play like it was a brand new person and hey, I can share this alpha pass. I wouldn't do it like that. I think it's somebody that you have to be working with, like my friend that I've actually shared two of them, but it was people that had already been scanned. Those two were very to semi-familiar with the frequency world. Terry's very. Um, but it's somebody that I've spent a little bit of time with, that has
That seem
suggested.
interested.
That seem interested, that are
Yeah.
open to frequency. If you've
Mhm,
scanned them and they're like, don't waste your pass on them.
mhm.
Well, that's
That's
what I
the-
thought. I thought I don't even know who to give this to because they probably won't even, use it, or they use it once and not even, I was just like, and then they're like, oh, well, and the thing, well, if they don't use them, then they come back in your account and stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm not worried about wasting them as much as how do you and who you allow to share it with.
Right. And
Well,
one
if
of
you
the
But-
things,
scan someone and they seem interested, maybe like a week later, you could scan them again. You could do another type of scan. And if they seem interested, wait another week and maybe you could do another type of scan. And then if they, through conversation, if they're like, this is amazing, I really think this is cool. You really have to listen to their words and how they say things. They're like, that's okay. Yeah, I gotta go to my doctor because I got 15 surgeries scheduled. Well, that might not be the person you want to give the pass to.
right.
So it's listening to them and then say, would you like to try it? Would
Mhm.
you like to have this at home on a weekend where you could try it with you and your family?
And what I did beforehand is I sent the YouTube how-to videos ahead of time so
Hmm.
they could be looking at how to do it. And I did create a playlist on my not my YouTube channel, but YouTube because well, Solex had a playlist on the how-tos with that.
Mhm.
And so I gave it to her to look at ahead of time so that she's not, I don't want to use the word wasting her time, but she
Hmm.
has some familiarity with that before she actually signs up to use that alpha pass. You know, make it clear as soon as they sign up, they've got 72 hours and it's done. So you don't really want to have that 72 hours with them. Oh, now I have to look at these YouTubes. I mean, they're still going to have to probably, but at least they're a little familiar with it at that point. And then they get that alpha pass and can start playing with it. You know, that seemed to be a really good approach. But definitely, I wouldn't just meet a random person and be like, or not even randoms, you know, they may be a friend, but hey, you know, do you want to play with us? You want to play? You know, right away, that's not comfortable for me. It might be some people.
Approach that I've used and seemed to be effective, and I heard it on another call that I was on, was somebody from my upline was just basically if they met somebody and they had something going on physically that was painful, or they would invite them to hold the device for a few minutes and see if it helped them, and so they'd put in the correct frequencies. This was even before we had the playlists available, and I did this with a friend of mine and put in knee pain, and her knee pain went away in a short amount of time.
But
And
she was
so this,
physically with you, Rita, when you did
she
that?
was physically
Okay.
with me. Yeah. But it was interesting because it was 3 days without knee pain. And the next time I saw her was on a Sunday, and the pain had just returned the day before. And I had seen her on Thursday, and it lasted until Saturday. So your frequencies will last 24 to 72 hours. 48 to 72 hours that will last. And so it 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 could be, in that regard, it was beneficial. She ended up
Yeah.
purchasing a device
Yeah.
because she found so much value in that. It was keeping her from having to have knee surgery.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
and the other thing to keep in mind when you're presenting this to people, like my friend that just signed up.
And I'm sorry, let me just interject one more
Uh-huh.
comment, is
Sure.
that it, the reason it was helping her keep from having to have the knee surgery is because it was balancing, and every time it would, end frequencies, the pain wasn't as severe as it used to be, so she was seeing improvement along the way as her
Oh,
body
that's
was
great.
balancing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And still kind of on that comment without going back to what, oh, somebody's joining us. Um, without going back to actually the Zoom call, if they weren't physically with you, you could run that and they could be holding their phone and putting it, near them. Some of it is psychological, it's learning to meet people where they're at. There are
Right.
people that aren't going to believe that it's going to work if you don't have them holding it or doing something active. Um, others are like, oh, cool, run me and, let's see if I feel better. So, it's knowing who you're working with and asking, kind of getting a feel, asking questions so where are they at? Are they familiar with frequency healing? Are they familiar with the energetic world? If they're not, they probably really would be the one you'd need to do distance with a Zoom call and say, okay, now, hold it by your ear and we'll do the scan and all of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I actually had somebody that I was scanning on a semi-regular basis that even bought the bone conducting headset and used it on her phone. We had to get an adapter because she had an iPhone, but um, she felt like she needed that bone conducting headset for it to work appropriately. So, meet people where they're at. Hi, how are you? I don't know your first name. I just see you as MLYBB.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
Oh, hi, Cindy.
Yeah, sorry, I got the time zone wrong. I'm in Oregon.
That's okay. Well, we're
Oh,
recording this, so it'll be
great.
fine. Yes. Yeah. So, definitely meet people where they're at. And, that's really powerful.
With that, meeting people where they're at, with sending frequencies with Sethies, some people might feel like if you're just sending them to them, they're not getting anything. But if you imprint pellets in the
Yes.
cute little blue bottle with the box, then they feel like they have something like a
Yes.
pill, and it's tangible, and then it has more value.
Yes, absolutely.
You could
Yeah.
sell, I have another friend that's selling frequencies that way by imprinting pellets.
Do you know what
with
she's
her
charging?
clients,
Yeah. What does she charge to imprint?
no, if I had to guess, I'd say $20.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's in person. I don't think that's mailing, but you could add a couple more bucks to mail. But it's more tangible and it lasts longer if you protect them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a very, very valid point. The other thing I was going to say, going back to the AO passes, is some of us talked about this a while back because Solex had done a little thing on, doing scanning parties, which we all know could get pretty overwhelming. But one of the things that we brainstormed, and we can go into more detail as our meetings go along, but, keep it down to 6 or 7 people, doing a full scan for the hostess, but only doing inner voices for the participants.
Smart.
And then that's where, if anybody decides to, sign up to host any party, I'd want to call it something else. They would then get a full scan. You'd want their permission to present that scan. If not, you could do a John Doe one, and go over it. But you could set up a separate time also to go over it privately with the hostess, and do the inner voices for the attendees. And then you could actually, I would think at that point, wrap either, like if somebody schedules one within 30 days or whatever, you could gift gift one of the alpha passes. Because, yeah.
I was thinking you could also ahead of time imprint homeopathic pellets with different frequencies, whether it be positive emotions or stress-free, and you could hand those out. You could have them already pre-loaded and people could pick what they wanted. And then if they didn't take them all, you could erase them as like a little gift and put them in a cute little bag or something.
That's so good.
With your card.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I thought I was on mute when I'm talking.
Oh,
look I have these little bottles that I have put some little pellets in because I do essential oils, and so I've put maybe about a dozen or 15 in some of these, and they would just be little sample sizes of the pellets, to be able to give out with different frequencies on them.
That's a good idea.
That is, and then you're not giving away that whole bottle.
So how do you protect them, or how long are they good for? Because I know with our things, dots,
Seppi dots.
I use Seppi dots, that like when I do them for somebody, I put them in foil.
Right.
To take to them and tell them, in 72 hours, that's about all I know.
You could do the same thing with the foil, with those little mini bottles. The homeopathic pellets come with their own protective box.
Correct.
But the little mini ones, you could tell.
What do you mean box? Mine's are in a big.
Oh, she's got the big tub of them.
I got a big tub.
Well,
3 or 4.
The big tub is good to refill.
But
that's the only way I've bought them. I got a couple of them when they're on special.
No, I didn't.
Where did that come?
You can buy these in your back office,
Mhm,
and they
Oh.
come preloaded with pellets,
mhm.
and they come with a little box that protects it from EMFs.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
But
I
you can,
saw that in the back office, but I didn't understand what they were. I thought they were something else. My
No.
imagination.
but
Yeah.
aluminum
But I
foil is,
only thought I thought the pellets only came in the you know, the
No.
big can we have.
No, you can
No.
buy them this way, and then
And
you
I'm like, those aren't protected. They
yeah.
are.
yeah,
Well, it
but
comes with
aluminum.
little boxes, you can protect them. So
Mhm.
you could imprint these and sell these too as well.
And what I've done in the past also is given those as a thank you for my new signups. Give them one of those. But yeah, you can protect with foil, any of that. The other thing, what I was thinking as we were talking was, and Rita, what goes along with what you said is we could do a Seppi dot at those parties as well. We could actually imprint everybody's inner voices on those Seppi dots and give it to them. Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying.
The
I
Seppi
don't
dot.
understand their stuff. Yeah, the Seppi dots, but when you said their inner voices, what do you mean? What are you
You
imprinting?
could actually lay it on there, do their inner voice scan, and when it comes back, it would be imprinted on that Seppi dot. So they would have a customized Seppi dot for their inner voice, and you can send that home with them. So they would have the frequencies to listen to, whenever they wanted, but then they could wear that Seppi dot for 72 hours, and it would be imprinted with their inner voice scan.
I love this creative thinking. We don't quite know how to put it all together yet.
Well, we'll work on that in future meetings. This was just kind of our kickoff. And I think that's what we're here for. How do we support each other? We can definitely do some of these meetings as training if we need to go back and do that as well, refresh. I would have all of you do a little bit of homework if this has already been created on YouTube with how to, but then let's dive into it further, if you need clarity and things like that. So what would all of you like to see with upcoming meetings?
People's success.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have any of you ever done, I keep saying I need to do this, but I just haven't yet. Like Facebook videos, Facebook lives, or pre-record it. And gosh, I would love for somebody to have skills on that. But getting out in front, because when you are on Facebook, you have a big group of people that know you or semi know you, trust you. So maybe that's the other thing we need to come up with is content. And even if you're not going to do like a Facebook Live or something like that, still content that you could approach people with. It wouldn't have to be something big. So tell me what you think about that. That's my scary point. That's my uncomfort. Not my comfort zone, but. Oh, bye, Christy. Thank you. We'll keep
Bye,
recording.
Katie.
We'll make sure that friend one of us, or I'll find you, and then we'll put this up on her for such a time as this. Laura can
Get you in
invite
a
you guys
group.
too. Yeah,
Nice meeting
Hey,
you,
nice meeting
Christy.
everyone. Love the
absolutely. Is once a
Okay.
month good
Yeah.
for now? And
Yeah.
I can go.
Bye. Great seeing you.
Bye. So we'll start with once a month, and if we feel like we want to do it more frequently, right now we'll do it the fourth Thursday of the month and see how that works.
Well, what I thought I'd do in the meantime for before next is just, keep working on how can we explain the AO scan in different
Yes.
ways,
Yeah.
get some different scripts almost, so we can
Yes.
be able to explain it easily. And then each person can select what feels more comfortable to them or get an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And a
like
couple of
that.
different scripts, because for myself, it's according to who you're talking to, whether it be a group or an individual. And
Mhm.
according to that individual, because you have to feel where they're coming from.
Mhm.
And so you explain it different every
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah, what they're open
Right.
to, if they're into energy. And then too,
Yeah.
the legality, I think too, sometimes I'm like, oh, you don't want to mess up and lose the scanner because we don't say it correctly.
Medical claims, etc.
Yeah.
So maybe for the next
So
session, that'll be kind of a homework piece, is let's come up with a script, and maybe
can't
we'll have a couple of people rehearse, we'll pretend like this is all our audience. We've got to get out of our comfort zones. It's okay if you have it written down while you say it, but that's how we're going to ingrain it and get good at what we're doing. How do we sell something that we're uncomfortable presenting? And I think that's what's happening in some of these cases, like Wanda, when you're talking, Linda, myself included.
Mm-hmm.
How do you have people believe in something that you don't sound very comfortable or believable in? So,
Yeah.
let's all work on that. And then I'd like for a couple of people to volunteer to step up and give that elevator speech or that presentation speech. And, maybe each meeting we can have a
You're
couple of
frozen.
people. I am?
You
Am I
just
unfrozen?
froze, so we don't know what you said.
Am I unfrozen? Am I still frozen?
Yes, you are.
Like,
No.
still frozen?
No,
Oh, I'm good. Okay. So,
No.
have a couple. No, I'm not frozen. I am frozen.
Are you saying to role play?
Yes. We'll have two people give their elevator speech, but I'd like to have volunteers. I don't want to put people on the spot. So have,
Oh
two.
yeah, I'll try it. I need to get out of my
Okay.
comfort zone.
Okay,
So
so-
next month, have an elevator speech.
Yes, Linda. And who else would like to be the second volunteer?
I'm okay with doing it too, because
Okay.
that's something that I've been needing to work on. This will
Yeah.
give me, yeah.
Good. Yeah. So each time, we'll have a couple of people volunteer, and I think as it goes along, we'll get more and more comfortable. I almost feel like sometimes we're going to need to meet more than once a month. Maybe we'll make it bi-weekly eventually, so we can really step into this and form our community with each other,
Mhm.
where we
Where
can
is everybody located? I'm in Surprise. That's why I was curious. I was
Arrowhead
wondering where
Mall.
everybody's- Huh?
Arrowhead Mall.
Oh,
Glendale.
I'm down in,
Go ahead.
I'm in Levine, which is south of Avondale.
I'm in Sun City West.
And where else, Wanda?
Oh, in Missouri,
What part of Missouri?
Northeast, Kirksville.
Okay.
And Cindy just said I missed. She did a
She was
chat.
in Portland, Oregon.
yeah.
Oh.
She's our Oregon. I was going to say our Oregon person left.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
did she leave?
Yeah, she
Yep.
said she had to go. She'd catch your recording.
Oh, yeah, Portland, Oregon.
Good.
Oh, she has some neat.
And Christy is from the Seattle area.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And then Laura is where?
In
She's not on
Seattle.
today. Okay.
Yeah, she has another commitment on Thursday evening. So
Oh dear. So we won't be seeing her on Thursdays.
yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. But and maybe we mix it up. Maybe, 1 week we do Thursdays and the next bi-week we do Tuesdays or something. Maybe we can mix it up a little so we can have people catch it here.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So let us know what works. So I'm going to put that here Tuesday and Thursday. And we're not always all going to be able to make it. I'll hand gladly my Zoom password out to somebody that wants to help run it and record it, if I'm not available. Because there's definitely going to be some times that we're all not available. All right. Well,
Okay.
before we close, would anybody like to add anything?
I will go back to where you were talking about your first meeting with our first time that you scan a person being more expensive.
Mhm.
Doctors charge the first time.
They do, because then there's a consultation fee wrapped up with
Mhm.
it. And maybe that's how
Because you spend more time.
right. And maybe that's a good way to break it out. The scan is 75 and the consultation
Yeah,
fee to go over it
Mhm.
is,
I think
X
that's a good
amount.
idea.
Mhm.
Maybe set a time limit on your consultation because
Yes.
you could spend, that's where it's the most time consuming, is talking about the scan and the reports.
It is.
So, set it for 30 minutes and cover as much as you can for 30 minutes. And then the next time, if you want a 15-minute consultation, we can go over it and it'll cost this.
Good idea. So we could actually do it in increments, 15 to
Yeah,
30
absolutely. If
minutes.
they want to talk for half an hour, okay, well, my time's important too.
That's a great idea. It's hard to explain it in 30 minutes as a newbie.
Mm-hmm.
But then maybe for the follow-up ones, you
I've
can.
only done it with friends. I mean, mostly with friends. So, it's cost me a lot of lunches. Well, in that time, it's very, very time consuming.
Yeah, it is marketing time. So the woman I met with yesterday, who is a snowbird as well and came back down. Oh yeah, we had a lot more to cover than just that. So she was here a while because she also has the glasses and things. But um, I almost felt guilty charging her more money than I said. But then I'm like, no, my time is important. And that's one of the things that Terry, I wish she was on the call that just joined. She's like, your time is valuable. And sometimes we minimize ourselves. We don't give ourselves enough value by not charging. And I do know historically, when you give things away, people do not tend to put as much credence in it. I've seen that over and over. And I guess that's something I would like to jump into maybe next meeting is when we do the intro scan, what do we start with? Do we just do inner voice? Do we do a full scan? Now I've got the dental TMJ and homeo
I
energetics.
think it depends on the person and
Yeah.
how awake and aware they are to homeopathic, allopathic, where they're at,
Yeah.
how far you can take it.
Yeah, because
Nurses are more receptive. They like all the information.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and sometimes, just that inner voice is powerful. The first several scans I did for people, I think, were just inner voices, and it moves people to tears sometimes because it hits home so quickly, or if it doesn't look like it's their frequencies or their emotions, it hits home with who it belongs to. So just that can be so powerful as the first scan, and if they want to enter into more. So I don't know. That's where I think I always feel stuck is how much do we give somebody the first time? But I think you're right. Meet them where they're at. Take it. Yeah. Yes.
I think everybody really likes inner voice. Inner voice is a no-brainer. Some people have told me they've cried after listening to it.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was one when I first got my scanner, I was very, very sick, and there was one tone that I couldn't listen to. It irritated me. It took me probably 3 months before I could listen to the whole thing go through. There was always that one that just bugged me.
Yes,
So
I've had several people relate to that. And so it's like, just kind of keep it out of earshot at that point because they're still receiving the frequency. in a way, but move through that stuck energy, which is really what it is when it's so grinding and irritating. It's stuck energy that they need to move through, stuck emotions they need to move through. And it's being understanding. I guess that's one place that I'd like to drive home as practitioners, is to really be aware of your client's emotional state and balance, and be that sympathetic person, that hearing voice, that listening ear, because stories spill out, and truly the fact that they allow us to come into their life in such a private, personal way is a gift.
Mhm. Very true.
Yeah.
Love that.
Well, everybody, unless there's anything else to be added, anybody? Thank you so much, and truly have a beautiful evening. And I look forward to seeing where this group is going to grow to. Like I said in my first text, hi, honey. I was like, let's make magic happen.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Thank
Bye.
you. I have so much to think
Bye.
about.
We do.
And I want to friend you guys on Facebook, especially the ones that live by me. Maybe we can brainstorm with each other.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Go into that for such a time as this page, and we're all in there. So.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Nice
ladies.
to
Have a
meet all
nice
of you.
night.
Bye.
You too.
Bye, hun.
Yep.